Hi there. I'm really, really glad that we're getting to do this for another year. Last year, Todd didn't tell you, but last year they were very nervous about how this was going to turn out, whether or not it was going to fly. And it flew pretty well. So I was very, very pleased that he asked me to do this again. And in the interest of time, I'm not going to say too much right now because you're going to hear my voice a lot. So I am going to bring up Nikema Prophet to the stage. She'll be your first speaker. And could I ask that Navya Solkan could go to the tech desk so that she'll be properly prepared. Are you here, Navya? Yeah, great. Go talk to them. Okay, Nikema, here you go.
Okay. Hi. This is my first All Things Open. And thanks. Oh, okay. Is this my clicker? It is, okay. Sorry. So I'm Nikema. I am a parent, a founder, an artist, a software developer. But if I add more details, I'm a single, low-income, disabled, homeschooling mom. I'm a Black woman founder. I'm a 36-year-old entry-level software developer with 0 degrees. CS or otherwise. So, I'm all over these. Okay, so I'm basically a unicorn in tech spaces. And all of these intersecting identities add up to a rich and broad body of lived experiences. And I can relate to everyone in this room on a human level. But I can also relate to those of you who stayed up all night with a sick child or had to put items back in the grocery store checkout because you can't afford all the food that you wanted. I can relate to those of you who have given birth. And I can relate to reaching adulthood before seeing a Band-Aid that was in my skin color. I can relate to being too depressed to get out of bed and brush my teeth and shower. So in preparing for this talk, I realized what a gift that is. So I'm taking the next few minutes very seriously because for as many of you who I can relate to in this room, there are many more who couldn't be here. And we are all missing out on their perspectives. So this talk is in honor of us. So, why does it matter? This whole list of identities that I just ran through, why does it matter? Why we're technologists, so why can't we just focus on the tech? Let our work speak for itself without the labels. It matters because technologists are future shapers. And you know who else are future shapers? Parents. But not just parents. The people who represent the global majority across the demographics, yet are severely underrepresented in the tech ecosystem. We are all future shapers. And the technology and software that we're developing has the potential to reach billions of people. And that tech can mean, and does mean, life or death for people. So we have a responsibility as a community to gather and apply as many diverse perspectives as we can to developing technology. This needs improvement, and we need to do better. Each of us have privileges that lead to awareness gaps, and that's not a moral judgment on anyone. It's a fact. And I'm going to use the remaining minutes to talk about how tech could have been more inclusive for me over the years. So the first, and it kind of applies to this situation right now, free admission does not mean access. I am a mess. Thank you. Oh, I said that out loud. If you really want to be inclusive of those of us who are breaking into tech from a lower socioeconomic class, you have to go farther than offering a free ticket. Because as someone who lives life in the red, like my bank account is negative more often than not, free attendance still means attending a conference is at best a financial hardship, and is honestly pretty irresponsible of me. Realistically, if you're only offering free admission or scholarships, people can't afford to come. They stay home, and we lose that perspective in the room. So if you're preparing scholarships, offers, you want to diversify your attendees, please think about the expense of travel, food, accommodations, missed work, childcare. Think about the fact that people may not have access to a credit card, and that matters when you're checking into a hotel. And I have a personal story. My first tech conference, I was able to get a hotel. Luckily, I was close enough to drive. But I was able to get a hotel, and I couldn't check in because my bank account was negative, as usual, and I don't have a credit card. So, yeah, those are things that may not be obvious, but keep people out of these spaces. And a free ticket doesn't create access to these spaces when there are so many secondary costs to attending. And I couldn't afford to come here. It was a community effort that included sponsorship and individual donations. So let's stop there. I would like to talk about how the buy now, pay later income share agreement model that's being popularized by coding boot camps isn't really a great path into tech, but we don't have time for that. Ask me after. Okay, recognize our differences. So if you want to include me, and your usual crowd is typically very white or male, just know that we don't swap out one for one. And I would like to see us respecting and valuing our differences. Just think if the scorecard only includes traits that you never have and never will possess, are we surprised when minoritized people feel like imposters, like we don't belong? It's because, or that we don't measure up. It's because we don't. We don't measure up by the standards. And that's because you're failing to measure a lot of things that make us great. For example, it takes a lot of skill to be a parent successfully, even if that just means keeping your kids alive and fed. It takes skill to do that. It takes skills to connect to others with empathy and compassion. It takes skill to make $20 stretch for a week. But those are things that you don't really see on the surface and don't typically go on a resume. And it's okay to recognize differences, because if you don't see them, you don't really see me. Okay. explicitly welcome us. I attended an event early after when I was founding my company. And it was a life-changing event, and I met people who are amazing and I still talk to today. And I would not have gone to this event if I had not seen a tweet that explicitly asked for Black and brown women to attend. So this is one small thing that you can do if you're organizing for the people who can make it over the financial hurdle to know that they're welcome. Like, ask for us. Let us know that we're welcome. So, yeah, speaking as a single mom, every event that I go to comes at a cost. And disappointment is an understatement when I take the time to attend these events and I'm not represented, not only in the attendees, but the speakers and presenters. So welcome us, but also don't welcome us if you're not going to represent us. Okay, ask us for help. Ask us for help and pay us to do it. If you want diversity, equity, and inclusion, you want more of a specific community to show up, find the leaders in those communities and ask them who should be there, who needs to be in the room. Because we know each other and we're brilliant, and just because you don't see us, I mean, it's very trivial. I could come up with a list of 100 underrepresented brilliant people right now, easily. There's just no shortage of brilliant people in every marginalized community. So, yeah, did I go over? Yeah, so I guess I am done, and I'm on Twitter like every day, so if you want to talk to me, find me there. Thank you.